Hey, how are you? Mel Robbins here. I have not gone live in a long time on all of our platforms. So it is great to be back. And just a heads up for those of you that have been missing our daily live broadcast, stay connected. We stopped doing the weekday broadcast, about 2 weeks ago. If you didn't know that, I apologize for the miscommunication. It just got to be way too overwhelming for me to do a live broadcast every single day. And we were also having a lot of problems with technology, given how many people are live streaming, that we were constantly getting bumped off of Instagram. And then on top of it, honestly, I've just been super overwhelmed in my own life. Working on a bunch of projects for Audible, working on a brand new project that I'm so excited to talk to you about for you, that we're going to go public on next week, on Friday, which is tomorrow. See, I'm totally discombobulated, but I'm super excited to be here. So let me just start over. Hi, is today Friday? I think it's Friday. Today's Thursday. Jeez Louise, I'm discombobulated, everybody. It is Thursday, May 21st. I had to look at the calendar to figure out what day it actually is. I'm Mel Robbins. I'm the best-selling author of The 5-Second Rule, which you see over my shoulder. It's been translated into 32 languages. Here in the United States, I host the Mel Robbins Show, which is a daytime syndicated television show here in the United States. It's an advice talk show. And I'm also very, very active, publisher on Audible. I've got 4 different audiobooks on Audible that are all coaching formats. And right now what I want to do is address a couple questions that we have seen in our community, particularly in our friends who are in the Stay Connected Facebook community. Questions that I know a lot of you are going to be able to relate to. Before I jump into questions, I just want to say welcome. I'm so happy to be talking to you right now. In the comments, do me a favor, tell me where you're tuning in from. And if you have a question, please, if you have a question, just ask them in the comments. And if I have a second, we will get to them. So let me just jump into this. The first question that I've gotten, and this is a question that I'm seeing almost 100 different ways. And the question kind of goes like this. Mel, I've been waiting for 9 weeks to come out of quarantine. I have been dying to go back to somewhat of a normal life. And now that the place that I live is starting to relax their rules around the quarantine and self-isolation, and some businesses are starting to open up, and I'm going out, I'm getting freaked out. And I don't know what to do with this fear. Now, I will share with you that I'm super excited to be stepping into a little bit more of life as usual here outside of Boston, Massachusetts. And I do feel the anxiety that you feel. I went to Home Depot the other day, or I was going to go to Home Depot. I pulled into Home Depot because I thought it'd be nice to get some plants to put in these pots. And I was shocked because the parking lot was so full. There were only 2 parking spots left. And I was a little freaked out by that. So freaked out seeing so many people out and about in masks that I did not park. Instead, I drove straight to my second errand, which is to go to Total Wine, which is a huge booze store, and buy some alcohol. And when I got into that big warehouse store, I was also surprised to see the number of people in there with masks. And I think what came up for me is not that I'm afraid of other people or afraid of catching COVID-19, but more afraid that life with a mask is the new normal. It felt a little dystopian, you know? And the other thing that's been going on in our household is Our kids are now done with their college classes. They're out of school. Our one daughter's internship has not started. Our other daughter is looking for a job. Our son is wrapping down his 8th grade year. These kids are bored. They have nothing to do to fill their days. Their friends are home and are bored. And now that states are opening up here in the United States, these kids think like, woohoo, okay, here we go, back to life. Let's have a barbecue. Let's have a sleepover. Let's hang out in front of the fire. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go do that. And so I've started to feel like the wheels are coming off, and that what on earth were these last 9 weeks for if now all of a sudden I've got 20-year-olds living in my home that are out doing God knows what. So how am I dealing with this fear that rises up as life goes back to normal, even though it's not normal, and how dystopian the world feels and how that makes you afraid? Here's what we're doing. And I see a lot of you saying you're having the same issue with your family members, that they're now back to life is good, and you're like, whoa, 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 wait a minute, we're still in a pandemic. I do think it's too soon. I do think we're going to see a second spike. I do worry that people's inability to deal with isolation and people's inability to cope with the uncertainty is outweighing the public health need and what scientists are saying. But given that this is what's going on, and I'm not the expert, I'm just giving you my opinion, you got to go with it. And what I want you to do, if you're feeling a level of fear right now, is I want you to use a concept that I learned from my friend Carrie Lorenz, who is the first female F-14 Tomcat fighter pilot in the history of the United States in the armed forces. She is a freaking badass. And she has this thing that she's taught me called span of control. Do you know that the majority of airplane crashes are due to human error, not mechanical error? And in order to train pilots, this is something I learned from her, there is a concept called span of control, which means when you get into a situation as a pilot that makes you afraid, you immediately narrow your span of control down to 3 things. Because apparently, and I'm not a pilot either, so don't take my word for this, but apparently there are 3 things that you got to manage when you get into a situation that spikes your fear in order to keep that plane in the air, right? And so when you narrow your span of control to those 3 things that really matter, you tune out all the dials. Think about what a plane kind of, the front of a plane, I don't even know, the control panels of a plane look like. There's a bazillion things that you got to look at. Very confusing, very overwhelming. Just like right now, what are my kids doing? Should I go out? Home Depot parking lot. People are at the beach. What the fuck? I thought we were in a pandemic. What? Like, you could start to wig yourself out about everything. You don't need to do that. What you need to do is narrow your span of control to the things that you truly are concerned about. I will tell you, I've stopped washing packages that come in. I've stopped being psycho about the groceries. I'm also not immunocompromised. We have been isolating in a squad with a bunch of families. We had some of them over last night outside. I'm washing my hands just as much. I'm wearing my mask. I only go out when I absolutely need something like Home Depot or booze. The thing that I'm doing now, knowing that my kids are out and about, is I'm narrowing my span of control to not micromanaging them and what they're doing, but micromanaging what happens when they come back into this house. Go upstairs, change your clothes, wash your hands. That's all I can do. I remind them, spray down the steering wheel if they've driven. That's all I can do. I am narrowing the span of control. So, if you feel nervous, that's what you should do. Just figure out what is the narrow span of control. What are the 3 things that you care about? For me, it's that my children, who are now running around like a pack of wild dogs with their friends, trying to enjoy the summer and let off some steam. I don't blame them. It's what is my decontamination system for those human beings that I created when they enter my home. I'm not concerned about me. I'm not concerned about how I'm concerned about them. Got it? Good. Span of control is going to lower your fear. Now, the second question that we got a tremendous number of questions, and I love this question. Okay, so before I tell you what it is, I want to ask you something. Give me a thumbs up if this entire experience has made you stop and think deeply about what you want to change in your life. Give me the thumbs up on this one, because I got to tell you something. I haven't lost anybody that I love. So I would not say what I'm about to say if somebody that I loved had died in this pandemic. But I have found the great pause that the last 2 months have forced me to take to be the greatest gift that I have received in the last decade. My kids have been home. I have been off the road. I have been forced to slow down. I have been reminded of what actually matters: your health, your family, your friends, what you're doing to take care of your mind and your body and your spirit, and making sure that you do something with the time that you have that you really, really enjoy. And the other thing that it's really made me stop and think about is making sure that I'm having fun, that my whole life isn't just work. And it's made me really start to think about the fact that I don't want to go back to the life that I was living before the pandemic hit. How many of you feel that way? That this has been a gigantic mental perspective switch reset button that has, boom, hit you really hard. I want to know in the comments, what is it that you, with this new perspective that the pandemic has given you, what is it that you want to change in your life coming out of this? I want to start seeing. I see people saying this has been a wake-up call. I see people saying, yes, this has been a huge shift in my perspective. I see Brianna saying, I want to travel less for work. What do you want? Kelly says she's had a mental switch. Kelly, what has this pandemic given you in terms of the gift? Heather's saying, I want to ask myself, what do I really want to do? Kim says, I don't want to go back to the rat race. Brock says, I want to start the year excited about it. I see somebody saying, Larissa says a new business. Megan says, I want more boundaries. Tara says, I want to have more fun. What is it that you want to change, given the gift that this pandemic has given you in terms of shifting your perspective? Dinky says, value my friends and family. Jilla says, take care of my mental health. Spend more time with family. What do you want to change, everybody? Seriously, what do you want to change about your life? Is it a relationship? Is it that you have had the time to take care of yourself in small ways and that's giving you greater control in your life? Do you want to change your job coming out of this? Do you want to launch a business coming out of this? Do you want to change your timeline for achieving your goals? Is there some project that you want to take on? Because what you're going to hear me say over and over again is that the single most important project you could ever work on is yourself. And the greatest gift that any challenge will ever give you is a perspective shift and the realization that you can face hard things, that you can survive hard things, And that in learning more deeply about yourself and about what you value through the challenges in life, you are going to be handed a moment where you can make a decision. You hear me say all the time, you're one decision away from a different life. Changing your life does not take motivation. Motivation is garbage. Changing your life takes discipline. The discipline to make a decision to change. You see, you need 3 things if you want to come out of this pandemic and truly change your life for the better. So many of you do not want to go back to the life that you were living. You see something greater for you. And what you're going to need in order to make that shift is you need clarity. You need the clarity to write the change down. And I want you to start right now. What in the comments? Let's get really clear. Terry wants to come out of this a healthier and better person. What is the clarity? Tell me the change that you want to make coming out of this. You got to have the clarity to write it down. That's number 1. The second thing that you got to have in order to make a change happen is you've got to learn the skill of confidence, which is the ability to try something when you don't feel ready. You may not know how to do this change. I see advocate for myself. I see more physical movement. I see I want to change my job. I want to start a business. I want to earn more money. I want to travel less. I want my work to have meaning. I want to get out of an abusive relationship. I want to help people in need. I want to make sure that I continue to keep the promises that I've been keeping, getting up on time, working out every day, working on my relationship. This is fantastic because you're having a moment of clarity. And when you start to write it down, you are starting to develop the confidence and the knowing that you deserve to have this change happen. And then finally, what do you need in order to really change your life? Because it's not motivation, everybody. It's discipline. Discipline to make small promises, keep small promises, discipline to take small actions when you feel afraid, the discipline to find the courage to push yourself forward when you don't know how. That's how you change your life. Just those 3 things: clarity, confidence, courage. That's all you need. And that's why you got me in your life, because I'm here to push you. I'm here to encourage you. And I love seeing what you want to change. That, oh, I see you need help building confidence. No problem. I got you covered. Because confidence isn't something that you feel. Confidence is a skill. Confidence is the willingness to try. Because it's through the act of trying, through the act of simply writing down what's the change that you want to make right there in the comments. Just writing it down and trying out writing what that feels like, that's going to show you that you have the ability to start to express the things that you want. And that's the first step, to claim these things that you think about. So for those of you, more than 100 of you, who have written to me in the last week and who have said, I've had a huge perspective shift thanks to this pandemic. And there are some major changes I want to make in my life. I want to start a women's group. I want to end this relationship that I'm in. I want to stop bashing myself all the time. I want to launch that business I've been talking about. All of the things that you've put on hold. Now is the time to change. So many of you asked me, is it the right time to change your job after a pandemic like this? Absolutely. Because if you don't hear the clarity that's inside you, if you don't quiet the noise and tune in to hear, if your instincts, if your wisdom, if your knowing, if inside of you, you hear yourself saying, I got to get a new job. I got to get out of this relationship. I don't want to live where I live anymore. I want to be near the water. I want to be in the mountains. I want to be out of the city. You have to tune into that stuff. And then it's about confidence and courage to take action. That's it. That's it. So again, I'm going to give you one more opportunity. You ready? Go right into those comments. And I want you to quiet the noise. Don't worry about how you're going to do it or when you're going to do it or why you're doing it. What is it? What is it that your heart is telling you that you are going to take from this experience that we are coming out of now? And you are going to use it as fuel, as discipline to change your life. You got to state it to create it, everybody. You got to write it down to get super clear. So get it in the comments. I see a beach house. I'm going to make a beach house happen too in the next 3 years. I'm making that happen. I actually have it up on my vision board. I have all these photos of these houses up here. I'll get you one right now. Let me show you. This is just a fencing company. Look at this. I don't even know where this is. I just like that view. See that ocean in the background? Isn't that amazing? I love that one. So I've got a ton of those up on my board because you got to have the clarity in order to really claim the thing that you're going to change. Then you got to have the confidence to state it, man. You got to believe that the way that you start to feel like you deserve something is you have the confidence to try to create a vision board, to put it in the comments, to say it. Because so many of you won't even say what you want because you're so fast in being like, can't happen, don't deserve it, don't know, never works out for me, ba 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 ba. And then you need the courage to just start making small, tiny movements towards claiming the thing that you really want. So I think that's all I got for today. I love this. You want to get rid of the clutter? Go bigger, you guys. Come on. Get rid of the clutter. What if you were to get rid of the clutter, what would happen in your life? If you were to claim what you really want, what would your life look like? Because this is a moment where you get to change everything. I'm dead serious about this. Dead serious. Are you really going to go back to the way that things were? Or do you see a new opportunity based on what you've learned in the last 2 months? You've seen yourself face tremendous challenges and you have learned, you have grown, you have gotten stronger. What are you going to do with that? Don't just slip back into the way that things were. I want you to take on a project. I want you to create your next chapter. I want you to take what you've learned and to take this wisdom, and I want you to get super clear about what you want. And then I want you to work on the small daily things that you can do that help you march right towards it. That's 1,000% what I want you to do. So for those of you that are wondering if right now is the time to change, hell yes, it is time to change. Couple final things. I'm going to go live once a week. So I'm going to go live again next Friday, May 29th. We'll put out something 24 hours in advance on all social platforms asking questions. And we'll address some of the questions. I also have something super exciting, a bunch of things actually, that are coming down the pike. So I want you to stay connected to me. And if there's ever been a time when you have thought, I really need to get my friend to follow Mel, this is the time. Because number one, we have a brand new audiobook coming into production in August. I'm looking for my notes here. Where the hell is it? So I'm going to tell you about it right now. Are you ready? This is really exciting. I do a ton of work with Audible. And Audible has allowed me in this partnership to do these exclusive audio projects where I coach people around a particular topic. And guess what? Audible just greenlit the next audiobook that we're doing for Audible Originals. I'm so excited. What is it? Well, we're going to get 6 to 8 people from around the world, and we are going to do a project that is all about taking control of your mindset. How cool is that? So if you are somebody that struggles with self-doubt, if you are constantly overthinking things, if you feel like you aren't worthy, if you are sick and fucking tired of the negativity up here. You need to be in this audiobook so I can coach you and we can reprogram your mind once and for all using science and the no BS slap in the face that only your friend Mel Robbins can give you. So how is this going to work? Very simple. If you're interested in getting coached by me for free, and if you are interested in finally changing the bullshit default negative stuff that's going on up here, and you want to build a mindset that will make you happier, wealthier, more successful, more in control of your life, this is a project you do not want to miss. This is the opportunity of a lifetime. How do you submit yourself? Very simple. Get out your smartphone. Make a video, 60 seconds or less, and you tell me your name, tell me where you live, and I want you to describe the constant BS negativity that is going on up here. You need to email me this video. Are you ready? Take control at Mel Robbins. Take control at Mel Robbins. Take control at Mel Robbins. That's right, Amber. I want you in it too. Seth, get in there. Kelly, slap your face. I will slap your face, Kelly. And I will rearrange your brain using science so that you stop this crap, okay? Carmen, I see me. Guys, get out your phone. What's your name? Where do you live? Tell me the constant negativity. What is this shit that you're so sick of hearing? Why? Why do you do that? I don't know why you do that, but what you did that. If we could just reprogram your mindset, imagine what you could do. I am here to help you. Get this video out, tape it, send it to takecontrol@melrobbins.com, and we are accepting your submissions until Friday, May 28th. Now, a couple things about that. When you send a video, you're giving me permission to potentially use it. Takecontrol@melrobbins.com. How would I use it? I'd probably just put it on my story. I have no idea. Might use it on the website. Not sure. Might use it to answer questions. But your name, where you're from, and the negativity up here that you are so sick and tired of, that you want Mel Robbins, the encouraging vacuum cleaner, to come in and suck that all out of you, slap you across the face verbally, and get your mind reprogrammed. You got it? Good. Get your video in there so that I can have you be part of this project. We are going to be taping this project in August. Of course, we are going to follow guidelines. Of course, you are going to be safe. Don't you worry about all that. What will happen if you are considered is one of the producers from my team will reach out to you. You will be interviewed, and we will make final decisions based on the global submissions that we get of who is going to be part of this book. So again, your name, where do you live, and please describe the negative bullshit that's up here that you are committed to getting rid of. And I would love to coach you. The other thing is May 29th, we are doing another live stream. Submit your questions on social media. You can just submit a question and use the hashtag AskMel. We will put posts on social media 24 hours ahead. And get yourself, make sure you're following along, because I have something free coming out tomorrow that is designed to help you. Training that videos that we've never released. So if you're not on our newsletter, go to melrobbins.com, and that's the newsletter is going to hear about it first, those guys, and the texting platform. So lots going on here. I know I stepped away for 2 weeks. I freaking needed it. And I needed to take some of my own advice and take some time for myself. I'm glad to be back. I have missed you. In case nobody else tells you today, I'm going to tell you, I love you. I believe in you. I know we can get that negativity out of your head. I know that you can make everything that you've learned in this pandemic the biggest opportunity of your life. So let's get going. I'll see you here online.